Okay, hi there, everyone. This is Doughboy Cap, and this is our third episode of Railroader for Beginners, where we're going to do day 3 on our railroad. So let's get logged in here, and we'll see where we left off last time. And one thing I should mention is you always, when you're coming into the game, you pop into wherever your first-person view is, and for now we have him riding in the engine, so that's always where you start. But okay, so we have our engine here where we left it for the night. Some interchange cars came in. We have the last of the bridge cars for Ella. We have new cars going into the sawmill. And we have a load for Stenzel Manufacturing. So if we trace back over here, you can see the sawmill cars are loaded and ready to go out. They're still working on the wood chip car, so that'll go tomorrow. And then the log cars are empty and ready to be reloaded. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. Full tender on the engine. It's in waypoint mode. First thing we got to do is we got to switch this train out, and then we'll be ready to go. So let's get him moving. All right, as always, once we get hooked up here, as always, the first thing we need to do is lace up the air, oil our cars. You see they're still working on some of the loads for these. It says the track that goes on the bridge, but the load isn't there, so it just shows empty. You have to kind of take it on faith that it's there. Okay, that's all of them. So what we need to do first, let's think about this for a minute. How to do this. Okay, we'll leave the Stenzel car for here right now. And we will set the sawmill cars over onto track 2. thinking of it, we'll set up our passenger stops. Okay. I like to put the sawmill cars here because it has this little loop around it, so you can run around them to push them in where they need to go. At least in the beginning. Once you advance a little in the game, you get too many cars to be able to do that. In the beginning, it's a nice little cheat. So we'll tie these down. We're done with these. We're going to leave them there. Now we're going to flip over and pick up our coach. This is it for Ella, right? Just the bridge cars? Okay. All right. That's nice and easy. Okay. Sometimes you do the shift click thing, cocks don't move, and you get a little exclamation point in here telling you about it. Knock the handbrake off. We need to back up just a little bit to get into the clear, so we'll just do that. I just need to be able to get past the end of end of this car here. I don't really care about being all the way to the track for our purposes right now. Trying. There we go. That's good enough. Okay, so I'll grab our Stenzel car. Stenzel, however you say it. just grab the rest of our train and we'll be ready to head west. Backing up. Almost becomes smoking in there. Gee. All right. Got our train all together. First stop is Stenzel Manufacturing. Looks like we just got one going in and none of them coming out. That's nice and easy. This house track. Oh, the house track car is ready to go out. I think of the best way to handle that. Think about that for a minute. Just kind of throw a wrench in the thing. I think I know. I really wanted to be slick about this. This car here is almost empty, so it's probably going to be coming out tomorrow. It really should go in and grab this one, come back out and grab this, and then spot. So then tomorrow, when this one's ready to go, I can just grab it. But you're going to have to make an extra move either way, and we'll go ahead and make it tomorrow. Today's about getting that bridge done. So we'll tie these down. And I think I know what we're going to do with that. House car. And a lot of kind of annoying moves, but that's all right. What do we have for passengers, by the way? Oh, jeez. Ella, North Carolina is a happening place this morning. We got 58 people that want to go there. See what I mean about 3 cars just fit in here? Like, as long as the car is like making contact with the glowing part, it'll unload. We might have to nudge this one back a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get in there. And Olifield heating oil works very, not even an eighth of the way through it yet, so that'll be sitting there for a while. That's okay. Nudge him back just a little bit. Oh, nope. It took. Okay. That tied down real good. All right. So now we'll come over and we'll grab the house car. It's gonna be a lot of zigzagging. That's all right. Car, so I really could just kind of wait, deal with it tomorrow when I have a local coming through this way. But I would kind of like the money for putting it on the interchange, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Our performance yesterday. 100%, 100%, 100%, and 100%. All right, everybody's happy with us. That's good. Always good to see. So that reputation bonus is really going to help us out tomorrow when we do a little bit of expanding. Makes a big difference. We'll do a little bit of expanding today. So now this I'm going to put on the siding so we can grab it when we're on our way back. How's it gonna? Oh, he's gonna zigzag. He's not gonna go around. Okay, that's whatever you want to do. Auto engineer, it doesn't make much difference. So I laid back a little bit earlier, and then we only have the one car, so it's just a way to make sure you have plenty of room. Get clear of the switch and get back in, get into the siding. Okay. To make our lives easier later. In the air on this end. Now we double back and get our train. We head off towards Ella. Just out of curiosity, let's see what work we have to do in Ella. So we know we have the bridge. And that's it. These are all still being loaded. Okay. Wow, nice and easy today. All right, I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. We got these flat cars. They're going to be coming back. Backing up. brakes off. Set our destination here. And we're off. Sort of. There we go. Okay. I'll load up our passengers and we'll get going. Yeah, the passenger numbers in this game are a little nuts, but that's all right. lighter train today. I've got up to speed a little bit quicker. Slam the brakes on for the curve. Here we go. Curve. Throws the throttle open again, but he's just going to have to slow back down. Auto engineer does his best. Couple times we've been through here, he's probably not used to having to slow down. Okay, station stop, and again we have 49 passengers going down to Whittier. It's going to take a minute to get everybody unloaded here. Okay, now we're pulling forward. Set up our passenger steps for the way home before I forget. Okay, and then we'll do our usual thing. We'll line it up so we can pick up from this end when we get back. Okay. And our engine number 2 is going to go up and pull the flat cars off the bridge site. Here he comes. Cruising up to these cars here. Okay. Do our shift click. Get these set up. Now, just to be a little bit slick about this, I could leave these on the siding, push this up, bring the coach back, grab them, and come swing over. Or we can just swing these over and grab right onto the coach with them. In professional life, I probably wouldn't like to push on a bunch of loaded freight cars in a coach with a bunch of empty cars between them and the engine, empty flat cars. Especially if you're going up any kind of grade that might be asking for trouble. But in the game, it's fine. Save it. And when that's done, we'll be all set up to just go right back into the game. Up to where you're at. cars and push forward and pull up here. Okay. And once the air comes up, we'll be on our way here. This is our last load of cars for the bridge. So once these are empty, the bridge should be repaired, and we'll have another few miles of track to play with and another station. Some more customers. Some other cool stuff. Show you once we get there. We got some work to do first. All right, we're here. Tie these down. This is such a pain on the coach. You gotta kind of, yeah, there we go. Believe me, messing with angle valves on real passenger cars is no fun either. Dent in the back of my head that can tell you all about it. Okay. So I almost forgot, we do have this car to pick up in Whittier. So we'll just bring the engine down here. Yeah. We'll come up here. We'll grab it while we're making the passenger stop. 49. Going back to Whittier today. You know what? See what that looks like. Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. Filling up. Pressure working away here. That's the MR pressure. Okay. So it's full, so the compressor should be done. And it is. How about that? You know, all these gauges work. Weather pressure, I don't know that I've ever seen change. I see the sight glass will be in different positions depending on when you look at it. These brake gauges, as far as I can tell, all work the way they should. Independent released. That's cool. Making a lot of stops and starts, accelerating back up to speed, and then also climbing hills, even though it should burn in local water. And bigger engines also burn in cold rule of thumb is when we build this out, there's going to be two major big hills. It's a good idea to not let freight trains start going up those without a full tank. And at the hard way. Coal usually isn't as big a problem. Just going to fill up when you can. As long as you're starting the day with a full bunker and then go through like a big yard. Fill it up. I don't know that I ever actually run out of coal. Water, you can go through very quickly. is we have all these cars, but these were construction cars, so they don't get anything for them. So the only cars going to the interchange is one from the house track and that one from the side. So not ideal. It's okay. We'll be alright. We got a bunch of new customers tomorrow, so. Should fit right. Oh yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. Bring him into a stop. So you can leave the coach there and uncouple. Passengers will keep getting on and off. So while they're doing that, we'll swing over and grab this boxcar. There's another 58 ready to go to LA. Jeez. That's okay. You want to make sure, for the sake of your reputation bonus, you're making at least one stop at every station every day. That's all you have to do to network service up. Equipment condition, you want to repair your coaches every night. We haven't been doing that so far. We'll be able to start. We actually don't fall under OSHA on the railroad. We have the FRA, Federal Railroad Administration. They're somehow less capable. Okay, so we should be ready to head down to the yard. So let's head on over to the interchange yard and we'll drop these cars. Leave a little bit of room for those cars that are going to be coming out of the sawmill. There's like 3 of them. Well, let's go like here. That should be fine. the sawmill, we should go over while we're here. So these cars are empty, but the sawmill can keep working because they still have 3.5 logs in the mill pond. So they'll keep crunching as long as those are in there. They want 8 cars a day. We're going to give them 10 today, so they'll be fine. So no big hurry there. Normally, when I start the day, the engine I have based in Whittier, the first thing they do is they handle the logs. Today, my priority is the bridge, so we did a little different. But starting tomorrow, we'll get into a regular rhythm here in Whittier. I think I left way too much room in here, but that's okay. Okay, and we got paid for the 1 car, so that's good. So we'll duck around and grab these. So we have 3 for the lumber tracks, and then one for wood chips. Not too bad. How are we doing on coal over here? We should be okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're good. All of these were ready to go, right? Yep, they are. Okay, good. Wood chip one would probably be ready to go if we waited a little bit, but it's all right. Also, you'll find there's different size cars. Some wood chip cars only hold the 40 tons. There are some that hold 75. So it all just kind of depends on which car shows up in the interchange, and that'll also affect like the customer's demand for the cars. So it's just another factor that helps sort of, I don't know, randomize the game, I guess, which is kind of neat. We're almost there. And clink. So we'll lace this up. Handbrakes off. And first stop is wood chips. This sawmill is a pretty big customer. He said you could certainly do a build where you don't expand at all, and all you're doing is like running a mill switcher for the sawmill. You could get plenty of play value out of that. That might be a fun build. if you wanted to add the diesel facilities here, and then maybe you buy a little diesel and just use it to, you know, feed the sawmill and make trips up to Ella and back. It's the one thing I do kind of wish you could turn passenger service off, because I kind of feel like a railroad that like that probably wouldn't bother running a passenger train. But anyway. You can turn it off and just not do it, but then you don't get any of the benefit, any of the bonuses. Hooking right into a customer truck. Love to see it. Okay. Paid for that one. Now we'll go spot these ones up. Okay. All right. And there's our pay for these. Okay. So now we loop over and pick these up. See, once it starts loading, a load shows up on the flat car. It's kind of nice. We gotta close these doors. pull these, put them down with the rest of our interchange cars, and then we got to go up and feed the sawmill. A couple other little chores when we get back, and that'll be it for day 3. This is also, notice here, this ramp down here is pretty steep. So once you develop the sawmill a little bit and you have a lot more traffic, the little engine isn't really going to cut it anymore. There we go. Sorry, I was on mute. I was just saying, the auto engineer, when you're coming through the yard, if you tell him to go on to track 2, he's always going to want to go around this way, because this is normal going into track 3 instead of town 2. So it's just something you have to watch. And if you have a long train, it can kind of screw you a little bit. So, okay, tying these up. Okay. I have my producer helping me out here. Okay. Oh. While we're over here, we'll get this, get the coach out of the way. Yeah, so when you're coming this way through the yard, it goes the way I would think it should, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't really matter, but maybe the switch normal should be reversed. Like normal should be down this track instead of up the lead, but it doesn't really matter. It's just an OCD thing of mine. All right, so I'm going to clear the switch here and bring it to a stop. Back up. Although I'm just realizing now for what we're doing later, the coach could have stayed right there and been just fine, but that's all right. Okay. Let's get the coach put over here. Okay, backing up. When it reverses, see that these hinges move out here. It doesn't look like it actually moves. I forget what this part's called, but it pulls these links up and down. It moves. It's kind of neat. good enough. Okay, I'm gonna go get the logs and feed the sawmill. These are all L2s, right? Yep, going to L2. Those things at the bridge site. The unloading, yep, they're unloading. Slowly but surely. We'll get our job done here and then we'll scoot time up. We have a little task we have to do that we can only do after the bridge is done. Knock off our 2 brakes. And these ones are all going to log 2, so we'll go up to log 2. And okay, switches down, and away we go. the auto engineer is he tries to hold your speed just so it goes as well and closes it, opens it and closes it. It's just like tapping the gas pedal. You can really see the reverser. No, it does. It does. Pretty much the reverse of what we did yesterday. We're going to put these away in log 2, pull the loads out of log 3, run around them, back down, pick up the loads out of log 1, spot everything up on the side. Too. So the sawmill wants 8 cars a day. Each car is 3 logs. So basically, we go through 24 in a day. 3 left. So basically, there's like 3 hours worth of logs. So we have plenty of time to go up and we're bringing them 10 cars, so 30 logs. That'll be more than enough to go through. Get them tomorrow. Log 1 over here, you can see the logs are loaded, ready to go down the mountain. We'll scoop those up on our way back down. Another thing that we can go over here, Connolly Creek. So it'll tell you what their backlog is, how many logs they have ready to go, and also how many they produce in a day. So when we get to the point where we expand the sawmill, we're putting a lot more log cars in a day at a time. You want to make sure you're not pulling them all from one place. You can help. That's why I try to spread them out. As they load quickly, there's like a reservoir built up here. Once that's gone, it takes a while. Same thing for Poopwood. We'll get to Poopwood. Uphill all the way, so we'll keep pushing right up until the top side. Let's see the grade over there. Sharp. A few car lengths will be in. More. That should be that. Okay. Tie these down. We gotta run up here to the top of the mountain. Grab these few cars here. And that's good. Pulling forward now. It's just light engine. It struggles getting going a little bit. The grade's not steep. It'll slow down. Oh yeah, a little bit. Or that might just be because of the speed limit. Now we got to run around these before we can bring them down the mountain. So we'll shove them right back over here. Backing up now. Right, and we got to tie onto these, and we'll head down and pick up our other loads down at L1. Okay. So go into our locations. Takes a while to get going, but once we hit this ramp over here, we'll have no problem at all picking up speed. 10-pound brake set. Trying to slow down. The brake's a little harder this time. 15-pound set, really having trouble holding it back. You still got brake on. All right, we're coming into a stop now. You should see the brakes really come on. 90 is released, so as it goes down further from 90 pounds, brakes are getting tighter and tighter. So 10 pounds there. Should be all we need. It looks like it's kind of drifting. Okay, so tie those down. We swing over and pick these ones up. A little bit more. Okay. All right, time to go feed the sawmill. They're ready for them, it looks like. Again, as we get on the hill, there are some patches that are 20 and some that are 25. It's kind of funny. He's going downhill, but still, when he comes out of the 20, you throw the throttle open to run up to 25 and slam the brakes on so it doesn't go over. As opposed to you can just knock the brakes off and let it roll up to 25. Pulling downhill. Throw the brakes on. Oh, and I don't know if I've mentioned, you don't get paid when you deliver lumber to the sawmill. So they pay you later that night. So yesterday when we put the logs in, we didn't get paid for the night. But in the middle of the night, it's $1,300. They collect for this overnight. I think it's they just deliver the total, they pay you for the total that you brought there. Later on, when the sawmill gets a little bit bigger, you're going to be feeding it multiple times a day. I also have no debt right now, but that's going to change. I think at this stage the log pond holds like 31, I think, logs total, so 10 and a half cars. So this will fill in. One more car. And that's good. And then this set out track, I believe, holds 12 cars. So there's a couple different ways to do the logs, a little bit differently from how I do it. So just know that you have about 12 cars worth of room to futz with if you want to set up your lumber operation however you want. This is just how I do it. It is by no means the right way to do it, or the only right way to do it. Okay, now sadly, the time has come. Our number 2 spot here has done us well, but it's time for an upgrade. So we're going to set our equipment condition to sell. We're going to put it down the interchange. I know. It is a nice model. I always hate getting rid of it. My producer is just becoming familiar with some of the darkness of the older Thomas the Tank Engine episodes. The reason myself and many others of my generation are so screwed up, I think, starts there. Generation, we knew George Carlin as Mr. Conductor. I'll never quite forget the shock of hearing his stand-up for the first time. His persona is quite different. Put it that way. Hilarious. One of the all-time greats. But definitely not PBS. I think that was on PBS. All right. Park him on the interchange. Okay. So now we go up to our Bryson Bridge or Ella Bridge site. And we do like we've been doing. We advance our time a little bit. Not quite done, of course, so I'll do another hour. There we go. So you can see the bridge is done. If we look at our map, we have a little passing track. We have another branch line that I've actually never used, I don't think. And then this is the real prize of our expansion. Bryson Yard. So we come into town. There's a big freight yard here. We have a depot. Depot has a little house track. There's also a freight house here. We have a customer. It's a coal and lumber dealer. Big roundhouse and an engine terminal. Coal tower and a water tower. Repair tracks. I'm not sure what this is here. Looks like more like house tracks or something. I've never had to put a car in there before. And if we come down this way, we have an oil company. Another branch line that goes off down here. This is a big furniture manufacturer. And finally, we have another busted bridge that we can fix if we want to go up this big mountain and get more customers. But we're going to be happy with Bryson for right now. Now, first step of our expansion plans. First, we need another engine. People will argue about this. I tend to like these, the G25 Mogul. I'm partial to them. They run. It's based on an engine that ran not far from where I live. They're also just kind of nice looking. They look good. They work with passenger trains. They can pull short freight trains. As long as it's not too heavy, that's kind of all we need right now. But you see, even with our little our discount from our reputation bonus, they're cost north of $10,000, which we do not have. So, and you have to close the window. You can't do this while the window's open. So close the window. Back up here, go to finance. We're at $4,300, so we're going to borrow $10,000. Then we go back to our catalog, G25, purchase. And of course it spawned in backwards from how I want it. Why wouldn't it have come in the right way? Okay. So just as an experiment, I want to customize this. Sort of like that. Kind of cleaner. And I want to change the number. This is going to be number 7. I would love to. I don't think I have that mod. But we can change the whistle. Let's see. What do we like for whistles? Comes with a Rio Grande 5 chime. So kind of like that, but it's sort of the standard one. Ooh, the Redding 6 chime. Try that. You can see the whistle actually changes if you pick a different one. If you look at the window here, yeah, it's kind of cool. Okay, what did I say? Redding 6 chime. Give that a whirl. Yeah. Some nickel plate. I do sort of like that. Okay, we'll try that on for size. I might change it later. Okay. Okay, so we need to turn him first. So we go up to the Y up here. You can see 7 hours later, they haven't unloaded these logs yet because the log pond's full. So we're going to have him. And for those of you who don't know, a Y track is like a 3-point turn for trains. So we're have him back up here, pull forward, back down. Okay, while he's doing that, we also need some more passenger cars. Go to that big new station up there in Bryson. So these to kind of match what we already have. I want 2 of them. They're going to be $8,000. So I'm going to finance, borrow another 5. And so the amount you can borrow is based on the value of the stuff you have. So as you get more stuff, you can borrow more money, which is a great spiral to be going down, but it's okay. It's fine. It's a game. We're good. So purchase 2 of those, 2 more coaches. And I'm going to change them. I want this one to be 101. This one to be 102. And I'll show you a cheat code for changing the graphics here in a minute. Then, do that. There's one more thing we need. We need another switch engine to work on Bryson. This is probably my favorite model in the game. Of course, it's another almost $9,000. So, borrow some more money. And purchase. Of course, it's backwards too. Damn it. It's okay. It's fine. This is going to be... Yeah, I kind of like that. This is going to be number 6. And I'll give it that same whistle that number 2 had. Okay. Number 6 is going to switch the passenger cars for us. Number 7 is up here. So number 7, since he's up there, we come down here, fill up our water. This is probably my favorite model in the whole game. It's kind of neat looking. A lot of stuff going on. Got the newer valve motion on the outside. A lot more linkages and stuff moving around. Okay, lace that up. Come around and grab these. Number 7. Yeah, oh, screwed that up. It's okay. So when you buy an engine, they come in, I think, like a quarter full in the tender. For our purposes now, that's fine. We're just going to throw some water in this guy just to make sure. I don't want to put coal in him in Whittier because I don't want to use up too much of the Whittier coal. Oh, that reminds me. Spend some more money. lace them up. And we'll set our passenger stops, Whittier and Bryson. Then you hit copy, and it copies the passenger stops to the other two. And then now we're going to help out the road engine a little bit. And we'll have the switcher bring the passenger cars up to him. Because the switcher is going to need to turn anyway. Doesn't really need to turn, but I wanted to turn. So the engine house here, the exhaust, or the whatever, ventilation towers are on the west end. So the engine's going to park it to face west. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't impact the game at all. It's just a pain in the ass. Okay. One more thing we had to do. We go up to Bryson engine service. We see we have this big coal tower here. It's about a quarter full, but we need to fill it. So we need coal cars. So we go into here, pick the cheap ones. I want 2. We don't have to borrow to purchase these, fortunately. Buy. And we, just like we did for the Whittier one, we want these to unload at Bryson, buy coal at the interchange, and then we hit copy. And then we hit, come on. Sometimes the little info window, sometimes it'll pop up and block you from clicking it. There we go. Okay. And then now, oh yeah, but we're gonna be buying 2 loads of coal, but we're gonna be selling this engine for, what's he gonna sell for? Around $5,000. So we'll be able to, I'll take out another loan just so we have a little cushion there, and then I'll pay it back. Well, I'm not gonna pay it back tomorrow. We're gonna be spending it tomorrow. You'll see. There are some people out there in the world who do builds of this game where they don't borrow any money. I have not the patience for that. So. He's done filling up. So once number 6 drops off these cars, or the coaches, 7 will back onto him and get on his way. Seven is going to do the same little pirouette there that 6 did, only in reverse. Or other way around. You know what I mean. I like that better, I think, than having it spelled out. And how it's going to work on the bigger engines. I'll have to do some research into that. How to change the font size. I'm sure there's a way. That's down the road stuff. Okay, we have our road engine here. So say you have a company car, you have decorated how you want, and you want to copy that style over to the other 2. Just go into equipment, customize, copy. Copies the rest of them. Well, you have to be careful you don't have an engine hooked up to these, or the engine will change to match to like your tender or whatever. Yeah, they all match. And it's kind of pet peeve of mine. I like to make sure they're not all facing the same way. I don't ask. Okay. Lace these up. We have our passenger stops set. So let's get the passenger train on his way. We want him to go to Bryson Depot. Only 7 miles, it won't take long. I kind of like that whistle. What whistle is that again? Oh, use that. Nickel plate, step 5 chain. One of the railroad companies I used to work for was called the Wheeling and Lake Erie. They at one time had been part of New York, Chicago, and St. Louis. So our trusty engine 6. It's going to go back here, and we'll coal it up and put it to bed. You're ready to hit the ground running tomorrow. Engine 9, you know, it's North Carolina. Let's get these windows open. We're working here. You can hear the other engine whistling. That's cool. There he goes. In the background there. Okay. So while we're waiting, we have some new customers. Appalachian Hardwoods, Bryson Lumber and Coal, or Lumber, Coal and Supply, and Standard Oil. And as a benefit of our 110% reputation, when we start a new contract, we can start it at Tier 3. And that's huge. Tier 3 contract, in addition to just more traffic, you get paid more for delivering it. You get on-time bonuses and that kind of stuff. So we definitely want that. So we'll get this and these. That'll come tomorrow. For the customers we already have that are at Tier 1, when you have 3 days in a row of, or I don't know if it's 3 days in a row or 3 total. Anyway, 3 days of 100% performance, you can upgrade to the next tier. Tier 1, it only holds 21 bucks. Weird. Fine shit. Alright, here we go here. These were Kewanee, Green Bay, and Western. I had 2 of these. I replaced them, I think, with 2 twos. This looks fast. Maybe not appropriate for like a milking railroad, but we're just along the river valley here. The other alternative they use sometimes with the C25, the consolidation here. One, they look kind of funny pulling passenger trains. They also don't give you as big a tender. This has, I think, 11 tons of coal. Consolidation only gives you 7. And 1,000 less. We also have a harder time in curves. The curve radius M versus S for switchers XS. Pretty much. Okay. Engine 6. Coal him up. going to take quite a bit. He's got a good sized tender too. Brakes on. And then he's not going to need any repairs, but he needs 2 minutes of repairs. Okay. We can make that happen. Oh, shoot. I almost forgot. Whoops. We can't just have the passenger train go slamming up there to Bryson because the bridge cars are going to be in the way. Would have been interesting. Auto engineer wouldn't have hit him. He would have stopped in front of him. And then we would have had to figure out what to do. So we'll stop at Ella there and pull him into the side and get him out of the way. Almost forgot. Okay, fill up the water tank. I think this takes 8 tons of 8 tons of coal, and I think 5,500 gallons of water, something like that. When I worked for the railroad in Minerva, Ohio, there was an engine very similar to this one, just sitting, rusting away. It was really sad. But I believe that it has since been bought by a collector, and is at least inside. I don't know if it's been restored, but so it was always kind of sad seeing it just sitting there. Don't really know anything about it, number or class or anything, but yeah, just remembered seeing it sitting there. But then I did hear that someone had purchased it. Number 6 is put to bed. And another kind of cool function of this roster menu is maybe you're only running one engine and you don't really, or maybe you have a whole bunch of engines you're running. Just click this star and it'll put it at the top. Or you can click multiple stars and it'll push down any engines that aren't starred. So it makes it easier to kind of find the engines that you're using. Okay, so we grab the bridge cars, drag them back. I want to leave them a little high up in case we need to switch an outlet tomorrow or something. Look at our milestones. Because we finished the Yellow Bridge, we could just expand further, fix that bridge out of Bryson. We will eventually. But I have something else in mind I want to do, and then we'll do a playthrough with that expansion just to kind of show. I'm trying to show that at each step here, you could just stop and there's plenty of play value. You don't have to expand any further. In fact, you don't have to expand at all, as I've said, I think, a couple times now. People get intimidated playing this game. They expand and make it way bigger than they're comfortable with, and they just get overwhelmed. And you don't have to do it. One of the best things about this game is you can customize the experience. Are there some ways I wish you could customize it a little bit further? Sure, but I don't think. Yeah. Basically, as long as you have enough money coming in to cover the interest payment. Or you can play sandbox mode and do whatever you want. Not worry about it. Okay. Okay, now. Now we can safely go to Bryson. Okay. So Bryson is this big station. And then if you put signals in, the signal office is up here. I think if you push 3, yeah, you're in this office and it's just empty if you don't have a CTC machine installed because of a clock. But Bryson has a huge yard. I believe also that Bryson City nowadays is the headquarters of the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad, I think. No hate mail if it's wrong. We have a little switch tender's shack. We have a freight house. This is a customer. This is the coal and lumber supply. This is the supply track for the coal tower. And then this track can go across the turntable. I usually use this. This is where I put the repair parts. These repair tracks here, we're going to put the passenger train back here so that it can be repaired overnight. And then just for tonight, we're going to put our number 7 right here in this middle stall. Yeah, that'll be that. Got water columns everywhere. With the big water tower in the engine terminal. Then you also have one here. And then if we go up here a little bit, there's another water column here. So it's a big yard. You can do pretty much whatever you want with it. And there's some like detailed buildings here. There's a Y track if you want to turn a whole train up to a certain point. House track here. I think they call it a team track. Yeah, Rice and Team. Oh, I neglected to watch our first trip over the bridge. That's on me. There'll be plenty more. Bridge that we worked so hard to build. What do you think of this whistle? Probably have been superheated, although I don't know if they were. Sand dome and sand going either direction. So firebox a little bit bigger. Inside valve motion. Wall sharts valve here. It's got piston valves instead of the slides. So it looks like another cylinder. It's not. It's a piston valve with a spool inside. Yeah, I do like that. I've never used that one. Let me stick with that. I think this whole class is engine, and she's going to get some sisters. Green Bay and Western was interesting. Kewaunee, Wisconsin, through Green Bay, and now into the kind of made connections with the bigger railroads that went out to the West Coast. worked with another line called the Ann Arbor, Michigan. It went from Toledo, Ohio, up to the western shore of the state of Michigan. And they ran ferry boats in between. Ann Arbor would pick up cars, run up to the Lake Michigan, Lake Shore, ferry them across, and then the Green Bay and Western would take them to wherever they were connecting to. The reason for that was that Chicago at the time was and continues to be such a huge bottleneck. It was actually faster than the 7 cars than that. And also the railroads, I believe, could upcharge. Well, other railroads did that. Chesapeake and Ohio did. Making our station stop in Bryson to let off our 3 passengers. This was worth it. Get us better set up. Also, I wanted to start. Our Coach 100 has gone a couple days without any maintenance at all, so I wanted to get that done. Although its condition, it's not like it's that bad. It's 98. What we can do, set all our coaches to be repaired on the Bryson repair track. He's going to make his station stop, but we'll set our next destination for the repair track. So as soon as the station stop's done, he can just go. Pretty sure they're all off by now. Oh wow, we got $2 ahead this time. Switches in here are 15 miles an hour. Not sure. Okay, so now for this we actually need to be in first person view. So we hit hover the mouse where we want to go and put Control T. Our little dude appears. Go over the turntable, open the door, and the little control house. One of the updates that's coming, I guess, is going to be like a third-person controller for the turntable, but it's not here yet. That's okay. This isn't that bad. This tends to be where I leave my little engineer guy. I don't know if I mentioned it, but you can customize him a little bit. Go into preferences. Change his hat. Give him glasses. Because there's not actually, well, he should have gloves on. I'll take given. I'll give him glasses too. Only 2 skin tones to choose from. And we'll stick with that hat. That'll work. Okay. So these cars are ready to be repaired. Speaking of, the Bryson engine service starts off with plenty of repair parts. I think it holds up to 300. So 75 is fine to get us started here. Cut the engine off. We'll just set the waypoint here and we'll take over from him when he gets close. Just click the doors and they come open. I think, though I haven't, afraid to try it again. It used to be you could leave the door shut and the engine would just go right through them without causing any damage or anything. I don't know if that's still the case, and I'm afraid to try. So. Also, just for realism, you shouldn't be able to do that. Set this up. I set it to the road at 10 miles an hour. Start getting close to the turntable here. Cut it down to 5. And if you stop it right when the last wheel gets onto the turntable, it usually centers it up pretty good. Set this all 12 minutes of our repairs to the Bryson repair track. We're going to put it in the first stall. This is our first engine in here. It will not be the last by any means. Okay. And then he'll stop on his own. But I like, again, just kind of anal retentive stuff. I like to try and get the stack right under the vent there. So we'll ease it up and stop. Nice. Okay. So that's a pretty long day here on the BW&E. Got a lot done. Started towards making some changes. And we'll go down to the interchange. We don't have any time manipulation we need to do, or we already did it. Let's go to the East Whittier interchange. Everybody say goodbye to our old 2-spot. She's gonna be gone in the morning. Sad day for all, but it's for the best. Okay, things. Sleep. All right. So we have our cars for tomorrow. Engine 2 is gone. And we'll go over our plans for tomorrow next time. In the meantime, thanks for watching. If you want to catch up on previous days, they're my past broadcasts. We're working on getting them onto YouTube, and I'll put on here somewhere once I get that figured out. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.